From the CSI Baseball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II baseball coverage live on the ECC Network. In today's conference matchup, the Mercy College Mavericks take on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Durst. And Nick, the Dolphins now only have conference games remaining on their schedule, several big games remaining down the stretch of the season. That begins here today against the Mavericks in a 4-game series.
Joe, this is a critical 4-game series against Mercy, that's for sure. Looking to head towards the ECC playoffs here. The bottom two teams will not get in the tournament right now. The Dolphins and the Mavericks are the bottom two teams. The Dolphins come into here 10-17 on the season, 3-9 in conference play. Mavericks 6-25 overall and 2-10 against the ECC. So these two teams looking to separate themselves from each other here in hopes of getting out of that bottom two and making postseason play in the ECC.
If one team can take 3 out of 4 games this weekend, that team will be in excellent position to potentially secure an East Coast Conference playoff berth. For those of you who don't know, this is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, our scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island, bringing you our pregame show each and every game this season here at the Baseball Diamond and, of course, down at the Softball Diamond. But over here at the Baseball Complex, the Dolphins face the Mavericks today. You said it, Nick. CSI 10-17, 3-9 in conference play. They have 1 game over Mercy in the standings right now. The Mavericks are 2-10. The Dolphins have 16 games remaining, all in conference play. And last time out for CSI, their offense turned out in a big way against Alliance University.
Yes, as the weather gets warmer, so did the bats. You and I called the first home games of the season at the Ferry Hawk Stadium. It was freezing there. That is not going to be the case here today. Record high here for an April baseball game. 88 degrees at first pitch. The offense in that last game, though, was incredible. Scored 37 runs in 2 games against the Warriors, and it was a great Heroes Day for sure. The offense was just ridiculous, and they also had some good pitching as well, Jeff.
No question about that. John Esposito, complete game shutout, 15 strikeouts, East Coast Conference Pitcher of the Week for Esposito once again. The second time he has received that accolade this season. The Dolphins have been in the East Coast Conference Weekly Report as award winners, as honor roll selections several times this year. It's been a big year for the Dolphins pitching staff, in particular the man on the mound here for Game 1, Ryan Kehoe.
Kehoe has been great this year for the Dolphins, Joe. He's usually opening up the series, and this is going to be the same case here today as he will open up the series. And this season, the sophomore, he comes in leading the team in ERA, wins, and innings pitched, as well as strikeouts and appearances. So he has certainly been the ace this season.
And the transformation from last year has been striking for Kehoe. Had an ERA up around 8 last season. He has cut that more than in half so far this year. He has been very impressive. Most notable was his start against Malloy University, a complete game shutout in a 9-inning game against the Lions. The Dolphins would love to get an effort like that today once again. But at the plate, the Dolphins are led in hitting by A.J. Vigliotti. He's had a great season for the College of Staten Island. Michael Kehoe, Shendi Ulaj, Vincent Weigel, all hitting well above 300. They had big games against Alliance University last weekend as well. And before starting lineups are introduced and the national anthem is played, we'll quickly shift our attention over to Mercy College. The Mavericks, led in batting by Nolan Giblin, comes in hitting at .313. As a team, the Mavericks are hitting just .251 on the season. However, they have had some past success against this Dolphins team.
Absolutely. They tend to do very well against this Dolphins team. Last year, the Mavericks scored 14 runs against the Dolphins for the second time in the 22 games the two teams have played against one each other. A total that tied an all-time high for Mercy against CSI. And for the Mavericks here, like we mentioned at the top, they're hoping they could take 3 or 4 here, jump over the Dolphins, and look to be in good shape here. But they're going to have to do it really well pitching-wise here. This season, the Mavericks have pitched to a team ERA above 8, and the Dolphins, on the other hand, are allowing just north of 6 runs per game.
The Dolphins' starting pitching has been excellent. Getting big outs late in games with the lead has been an issue for CSI. They hope to remedy that today and to put themselves in a position to secure a berth in the East Coast Conference playoffs. As starting lineups are being introduced over public address by Nick Bavona, Nick Durst and I will step aside and take a break. This has been the McDonald's pregame show on CSI Sportsnet, a proud part of the ECC network. Game 1 of a 4-game set between the College of Staten Island and Mercy College coming up next.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the CSI Baseball Complex. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Durst with the call of today's East Coast Conference matchup between the College of Staten Island and Mercy College. The Dolphins in their blue uniforms today with white numbers and white pants. The Mavericks in slate gray tops and a bit lighter shade of gray for their pants. Dark black uniform numbers with white trim for the Mavericks. And Nick, I know you're a big fan of analyzing team uniforms. The Dolphins in one of their more traditional colorways today. What do you think of this look for Mercy?
Well, I think they're going to be hot today, that's for sure, with the darker colors. I don't mind it, but I think they need to wear the same shade of gray on the top and the bottom.
I think you match the shade or go white pants. I really like the tops for the Mavericks. I'm not sure I've ever seen them wear these uniforms before, and I'm definitely a fan of those types of colorways with different shades of black and gray, though I think white pants may have been better. We'll see, though. I know you missed the Dolphins wearing their pink uniforms with the blue pants. We haven't seen those yet this year, but that's something.
Nice uniforms for Heroes Day. Custom made
yes.
just for that day.
Those were nice uniforms indeed for Heroes Day. Dolphins honoring Steve Sosa, Anthony Iraci, and Anthony Varvaro last Saturday here at the CSI Baseball Complex. 37 runs for the Dolphins in those two games played against Alliance University. The Dolphins picked up 2 wins. That snapped the CSI losing streak. and they hope to make it a bit of a longer win streak here today. Going for 3 in a row against Mercy College behind starter Ryan Kehoe. Kehoe comes in having appeared in 8 games, 7 starts. He's pitched to a record of 4-1 and a 3.77 ERA. He has 2 complete games, 1 shutout. Has also picked up a save this year. In 43 innings, he's allowed 44 hits, 19 runs, 18 of those earned. He's walked 14 and struck out 62. We are underway from the CSI Baseball Complex as the first pitch of the game is hit a mile high but well foul. Jaden Caballero leads things off for the Mavericks. Caballero comes in hitting at .281. That's good for second on this Mercy squad. He's definitely a threat once he gets on base, as that's chopped back toward the mound, and it's not handled cleanly behind the plate. Kehoe couldn't bring it in. He had to hurry, and that will likely go down as an infield hit.
Rough start there for Kehoe and Caballero on board.
Kehoe was certainly going to have to hurry on that one. And that has rightfully scored an infield hit. Just like that, Caballero is on to lead off the game. And as I mentioned, he's dangerous on the base paths. Nolan Giblin at the plate now. He comes in Mercy's leading hitter on the season. As that pitch misses upstairs. Giblin comes in hitting at .313 and 112 at-bats. 16 RBIs on the season. That's tied for the team lead as that's popped up on the infield. Weigel underneath it at third. Kehoe looks at it, it falls, but Kehoe will throw to second, and they get the force there.
Sun definitely going to be an issue here today, that's for sure, and you saw that come into play right there.
We've seen that on this infield all season, whether it's sunlight on a day like today or wind on another day. A high pop-up on the infield is far from routine here at the CSI Baseball Complex. Doesn't matter who's out there, as Kehoe will check on the runner. One away in the inning, and Justin Glenister will be the batter. Glenister comes in hitting .262. As that got away just a bit, throw to second, not in time. It's backed up by Cipoletti, and that will force Giblin to hold at second.
Kehoe being very involved early on here, beyond just the traditional plays of catching the ball from the pitcher here. But Glenister, homecoming for him here. Staten Islander, went to St. Joseph by the Sea High School.
Years ago now, Glenn Glenister was a CSI Dolphin.
I'd have to imagine they're brothers.
I don't think I have to imagine that one. I'm fairly certain they are, though. You know, I can't say for sure either, as the pickoff goes to second. Now, as the SID, I should have that information, but keep in mind, I was not the SID when Glenn played for the Dolphins. I believe when I was here anyway, he was here in 2016, 2017, maybe 2018. Definitely the first 2 seasons I was here. Count out 2 balls and 1 strike. Comes 2-1. That misses outside. Three and 1 the count on Glenister. Mavericks with an early runner in scoring position. Giblin drawing attention. That pitch is sent foul and out of play.
And it goes right to one of the few spectators in the stands there. What are the chances? Some pinpoint accuracy.
I get the feeling that it will be a bit more crowded here at the baseball complex later in the game. Club hours start, I believe, around 2 o'clock here at the College of Staten Island. And you'll get some students in between classes showing up then as that's chopped to second. It's handled there. Throw to first in time for the second out of the inning. Giblin will advance to third.
Moves the runner over, but 2 outs now I don't know if you saw this show in Major Leagues the other night. Bobby Witt Jr. on the Royals, he hit a foul ball into the stands, and it was caught by his father. I mean, what are the chances that happens?
I did hear that last night, and that is remarkable. Now, what's more remarkable, a foul ball caught by your father in the stands or a foul ball caught in the booth by the play-by-play commentator?
Well, that's now at least two times where a ball has come your way over the past few years.
We've had, in my time here, 3 baseballs enter the booth. One took out equipment. One landed in between the equipment and bounced off the table into my lap, so I caught that one on a bounce. And then I caught one off my ribs earlier this season. As that's hit a mile high out to left, could be trouble, but settling underneath it to make the catch is Burkhead, and the side is retired. Mavericks pick up 1 base hit in the inning. They strand a runner at third. No score, headed to the bottom half of the first.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
And we are back from the College of Staten Island. No score in the bottom half of the first inning. First turn at bat for the College of Staten Island in this game, and they will face Maverick starter Scott Sheppy. Sheppy comes in having appeared in 8 games this year, 7 starts. He's pitched to a record of 1-3. He comes in with a 7.04 ERA. In 38 1/3, he's allowed 49 hits, 36 runs, 30 of those earned. He's walked 17 and struck out 20. Opposing batters hitting .297 against him. Michael Kehoe will lead off for the Dolphins. As Nick mentioned, he was very active in that first inning behind the plate. Got a lot of work. Here he looks at ball 1. And how often do you have a catcher
Leading off.
who's a suitable leadoff hitter?
All right.
Exactly.
And in majors, you always hear all the time personal catchers, but I mean, this is a new level here of personal catcher, Kehoe and Kehoe.
Sibling batteries, that sales high. Rest of the lineup for the Dolphins behind Kehoe: Ulaj, Weigel, Vigliotti, Santiago, Cipoletti, Martinez, Burkhead, and Myers. And that's chopped foul. Kehoe not only a suitable leadoff hitter, he's one of the Dolphins' leading hitters on the season.
It's definitely emerged this season for sure, offensively.
Both Kehoes have had great years for the Dolphins. So that skips to the backstop. Michael hitting nearly 400, trailing only A.J. Vigliotti in batting.
So we discussed the Mercy uniforms before, but when we get a chance, we got to discuss these umpire uniforms.
You know, I noticed that as we were heading to break, and I was thinking to myself, they look an awful lot like the Mavericks.
I was going to say, I'd use the personal umpires for the
Yeah.
Mavericks, because I've never seen this shade of gray before for umpires.
I was certainly thinking it as that's chopped back toward the mound, and through the middle for a base hit.
Almost took a turn there as Caballero had some trouble picking that up, but he gets it back in, and Kehoe's on with a leadoff single.
And that will bring up another one of the Dolphins' leading hitters, Shendi Ulaj. He had a nice day against the Lions over the weekend, a couple of two-hit games. It was a big day for the top of the Dolphins lineup on Saturday against Alliance. Ulaj shows bunt and takes a strike. You think the bunt is on here, Nick?
I wouldn't put it on, but usually, more times than not, the bunt's on here at NCAA.
And they'll check on Kehoe at first. Now, I think in a situation where you have a hitter who's a threat to bunt for a hit, I could definitely see it in this spot, but if the Dolphins are bunting, that goes to show you how big these games are for this team. And perhaps Ulaj was taking all the way on that first pitch. He didn't show bunt there, and the count's even at 1. Check on Kehoe again. Kehoe on the season, 4 for 7 on stolen base attempts. Dolphins don't run often on the season, 18 of 27. And that's it out toward right center field. Hit well, and that will land in the gap for an extra base hit. Kehoe is being waved home initially. He is now held at third. And it's a double for Shendi Ulaj to put 2 in scoring position.
Well, let's even get a replay on that, Joe, because Kehoe got a really bad read on that coming off first. He should have been at least on second before that ball hit the ground, and that's why he did not score. We'll see if that comes back to haunt the Dolphins here, but he should have easily scored. He just did not get a good read on that fly ball.
I'm with you, Nick. He was being waved home from the start, so it looked like his third base coach certainly expected him to be a bit further along the bases by the time he reached third. Off the bat, I thought maybe Shendi got under it a bit, but that ball was hit well and landed deep in the right center field gap. At the plate now, Vincent Weigel, and he looks at ball 2. Dolphins couldn't have asked for a much better start. Pair of base hits to open up the game, 2 in scoring position. A 2-0 count here on Weigel. And he takes ball 3.
2 runners on to get things started, and your 2 best hitters up now. So that is probably why you see the Mavericks here playing the infield in early on, especially with Kehoe on the mound.
A couple of first-year Dolphins in the 3 and 4 spots in the order. Weigel draws a 4-pitch walk, and A.J. Vigliotti will come to the plate.
And that's going to be our first mound visit of the day. Bases loaded here as the FDNY pulls up behind the bleachers here.
Curious what brings them here.
A little late for Heroes Day, Jeff.
We did have members of the police department and the fire department welcomed in on Heroes Day. And that audio you hear behind our voices is the walk-up music. Every game we've received a request, louder on the walk-ups, louder on the walk-ups.
Really?
The volume is now maxed out. And there's a speaker right outside the window, and it is very hard to talk over it, I have to say. Bases loaded with Dolphins, still nobody out. Here in the bottom half of the first inning, A.J. Vigliotti at the plate, CSI's leading hitter. Nowhere to put him. And the first pitch is down in the dirt for ball 1.
Mavericks playing the corners in here, so what Vigliotti wants to avoid is a hard hit ball to Giblin at third, who will certainly come home with it. Mavericks looking up the middle to get the double play with Gonzalez and McAdams.
And that's it out to straightaway center, falling fast, and the diving catch is made in center field. That will bring in a run, but that was a tremendous play in center. If that gets by, multiple runs come home. Caballero with a great diving catch.
Great break there by Caballero. Comes diving in, forward, battles with the Dandelions out there, but they were no match for him as he makes the catch.
1-0 Staten Island early in this game. As you get a quick look at that diving catch once again, a bit tough to see on the wide shot. That's chopped on the ground to short. Throw goes to first in time, and Angel Santiago is retired on one pitch for the second out.
Well, good job there by the Mavericks to make that play and avoid any further runs being scored.
That will bring Nick Cipoletti to the plate. Cipoletti comes to bat here in a big spot early in this game. The Dolphins have the bases loaded with nobody out. Would love to score more than just one. And Cipoletti looks at a strike. Cipoletti comes in hitting an even 300 on the season. He leads the team in at-bats with 80. Has appeared in more games than any Dolphin, all 27. Has started 26 of those.
Well, what they say sometimes, Joe, is the best ability is availability. And Cipoletti, to his credit, has been available. Rarely can count him out of the lineup.
I 100% agree with that statement, as that's hit well out to center. Caballero was turned around for just a moment, but he makes the catch, and the side is retired. Dolphins strand 2 in scoring position, 2 base hits for CSI in the inning. They settle for 1 run. Our score, 1-0 Staten Island, heading to the second.
NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
First pitch in the second inning is chopped down the third base line, but that is a foul ball. And that is the first strike of the inning. At the plate for the Mavericks, Sean McAdams, a .250 hitter on the year and 64 at-bats. Comes the 0-1. That's in for a called strike. Going back to that last half inning for just a moment, you have to think that's a big sigh of relief for Scott Sheppy and Mercy College. Certainly could have been far worse. That's off the outside corner. Dolphins settle for 1 run in the home first. They have an early lead. On more than one occasion this year, that's been enough for Ryan Kehoe on the mound. That ball's hit hard into left field. That's down for a base hit. Thinking about second was McAdams, but he puts the brakes on. The ball gets away, and McAdams will take second. He may take third. There he goes. Myers tracks it down along the right field line, and that is a 2-base throwing error on the Dolphins.
Well, let's make sure our statistician Louis Matrone gets that right. But first of all, great job by McAdams hitting to rip that down the left field line. Burkhead does a nice job of stopping the ball, but for some reason goes to show off his arm, does not hit the cutoff man, and the ball goes into right field, allowing McAdams to get to third here, and a golden opportunity here for Schoen to drive him in.
We may have to cut this. We'll see. If the ball is put in play, we will cut away from the replay, but there you see that ball get away. Initially, McAdams thought about second, put the brakes on, and you said it, Nick. Burkhead launched that throw onto the infield, just a bit offline, and that was enough to see that ball get away. That's popped up, foul ground, and off the facing of the Dolphins dugout.
0-2 count now. Would be a big strikeout here for Kehoe if he could send Schoen back to the bench.
Errors like that really hurt. Comes the 0-2. That misses for ball one. Dolphins have the corners in here. They are not conceding a run on a ground ball to a corner infielder. Good range for both middle infielders as that's hit in the air, foul territory, and once again, out of play. Stephen Schoen comes in hitting 196 on the year. He started 30 of the 31 games for the Mavericks. The only Maverick to start in all 31 is Jaden Caballero, the center fielder. There's a checked swing, strike three. Kehoe looks the runner back to third and throws to first in time. They complete the putout on the strikeout of Schoen, and there's one away.
The shortstop.
Well, I said it, Kehoe needed a strikeout, and he got it there.
Schoen down on strikes for the first out. That will bring Joseph Gonzalez to the plate. He looks at a strike. Gonzalez, a .257 hitter. The only Maverick aside from Caballero to appear in all 31 games. As that's hit right back through the middle for a base hit. And the Mavericks have tied the score.
Kehoe just inches away from getting his glove on that one. And that ball goes up the middle for an RBI single by Gonzalez. Nice job of hitting by him.
Mercy able to capitalize on that Dolphins error. And that gets them on the board for the first time today. That pitch is put in play, left side of the infield. And the Dolphins will get one out on the play as they go to second for the force, and there are two gone.
Just hit a little too slowly there to third in order to turn that double play, but they do get the out on the runner at second.
Dolphins will certainly take it. Score now even. 2 away in the road second, as they will check on the runner Gonzalez over at first. Gonzalez just 1 for 3 on stolen base attempts this year. The Mavericks actually run less than the Dolphins. CSI comes in with 27 stolen base attempts in 27 games. The Mavericks have 26 in 31 games.
Remarkable.
Those are two teams that do not run. As that misses down and in.
Well, we've seen it time and time again here for the Dolphins. When they play teams that do run, it gives them all sorts of fits, and it usually impacts the game.
Good pickoff attempt there by Kehoe, just a bit late. Now, with those 27 stolen base attempts, I'd probably go as far as to say at least 10 of those were last weekend. Runner took a few steps off of first and stopped as that pitch is in for a called strike. At the plate now is Zach Ashleen. Comes in .333 on the year at the plate. Just 33 at bats, 11 of 33 on the season. As once again they throw over to first.
must think Gonzalez is a big stolen base threat here. Not sure he's going to be running with 2 outs, though.
I think what the Dolphins have in mind is that this is a prime stolen base situation. And that throw from Weigel just in time to get the runner over at first, Ashleen, and the side is retired. Mavericks get even, thanks in large part to a Dolphins error. We are knotted up at 1, heading to the bottom half of the second.
Stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Home second inning getting started from the College of Staten Island as Tyler Martinez takes ball 1. Martinez comes in hitting at .203 on the season. He takes up and in here. Martinez has played a good outfield when he's been out there this year. That's popped up on the infield. I should say into the outfield. Thought he got under it a bit more. And the catch is made in right center for the first out.
Well, Joe, I think we did have an infield fly called out there once in an off-pass game, but yes, that ball, everything I'm noticing so far today with this dry heat is the ball is carrying towards right center field. And we saw it in the first inning on Ulaj's double.
First pitch to Brian Burkhead misses low for ball 1. Burkhead has been the Dolphins' third outfielder since Dominic Castiglione went down. We haven't seen him in quite some time as that's fouled away. Burkhead comes in hitting an even 200. The 1-1 misses high. Sheppy working quickly. And the 2-1 is hit hard on the ground to short. Ground ball is handled there, and Burkhead is thrown out for out number 2.
Well, Burkhead has some good speed there, so great job by the Mavericks to get him on the ball that was hit not overly hard. But now Myers will come to the plate here.
Jake Myers comes in hitting 193 on the season. Has been in and out of the lineup throughout the year as he swings and misses for strike 1.
Myers had a great season last year at the plate. This year has not been able to find it to get it going.
I said it last time that we were on the air. A lot of these new Dolphins and this talent added by this team has seen players that performed very well in past seasons getting less playing time. And Myers very quickly goes down on strikes as he is set down looking on just 3 pitches. 1-2-3 inning for Scott Sheppy and the Mavericks. CSI and Mercy tied at 1 heading to the 3rd.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag, like facing backwards and with like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do, be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
And we are back from the CSI Baseball Complex. And very quickly, ahead of the start of this third inning, we'd like to remind you that tickets are available now for the 2022 CSI Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Joe Barresi, Tony Petoza, Pat Daddio, Caitlin Flynn, Melissa Gilardi, and Jordan Young will be inducted into the Athletics Hall of Fame this year. That event takes place next Thursday, April 20th, 2023, right here on the campus of the College of Staten Island at the Sports and Recreation Center. Go to csidolphins.com/HOF to get your tickets for the 2023 Hall of Fame induction ceremony today.
Great class, that's for sure. Will you be emceeing this year?
Yes, I will.
All right, so that's why I really want to come down to see Joe MC.
Nobody is coming to see me, I can assure you of that. Though, hopefully, down the line when I've been here a bit longer, this is, of course, my second stint as a member of the athletic staff outside of game days, but down the line a bit further, perhaps, we'll see some student athletes and administrators and coaches inducted that I was a part of administrating during my time, of course.
Yeah, I thought you were going, maybe one day down the line, you'll be hearing my acceptance speech into the Hall of Fame. That's where I thought you were going with that one.
You have to be gone for at least 5 years.
Okay. Well, I could think of somebody who will be gone.
That's hit well to left field, and that lands inside the line. Fair ball as it rolls down into the corner. Burkhead tracks it down and gets it in to Cipoletti. That will be a leadoff double to open up the third inning for the Mavericks.
Caballero leading off the inning there with the double, and he's on. And now the Mavericks' best hitter, Giblin, will come to the plate with a chance to drive him in.
Second hit for Caballero. He opened the game with a single. First pitch to Nolan Giblin is taken for a strike. Here's a quick look at that last base hit. You can see Caballero really turned on that pitch. It landed just inside the chalk down the left field line. 0-1 misses for a ball to Giblin. Giblin 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice. It's hit in the air. Foul. Couple of members of this year's Hall of Fame class predate my time here at CSI and the game day staff by about 2 or 3 years. Okay. So you have to think maybe a class or two down the line, you may start to see some student athletes who were here when I got my start at CSI, see some of those athletes inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I think there's a certain administrator that we both worked with who we'd like to see in the Hall of Fame in a few years.
I'm sure he's going to receive many, many, many nominations. And I have a feeling, just a hunch, he's going to make it on the first ballot.
Watch out,
coming
Joe.
Our way, and Nick, you got to be kidding me.
That was close, Joe.
Yeah.
I thought that was going for the camera that time.
You know, I didn't even think of that. But
top window's open here where the camera is, and that kind of went right down.
Can you imagine that came in and landed on top of the MAC, which is out of the way of the middle window?
That was a close one.
That's hit hard on the ground. Good range there by Myers to make sure he cut that ball off on the infield, and he throws out Giblin for out number 1.
Well, Giblin looking to get that into the outfield there, but that's just a nice piece of hitting there, taking it to the right side. Doesn't get the hit, but Caballero over to third now with 1 out, and that 1 run could play huge here with the way both of the pitchers are pitching here.
Justin Glenister at the plate ahead 1-0 here. Glenister 0 for 1 at the plate in this game. Chance to give the Mavericks the lead. The Dolphins playing the infield in all around as that's hit to shallow right. It's caught by Santiago. He throws home. And a good effort there on that snap tag by Kehoe. But that wasn't enough as Caballero scores the go-ahead run.
Wasn't sure if they were going to send Caballero there with the short throw, but he has the speed, no hesitation, and slides in there safely. And Mercy is ahead now, 2-1.
Off the bat, I was not sure that was deep enough to score him. See if you catch where that ball was caught here. There you see it right at the tail end. And it looked like Santiago, rather than setting himself up behind that play, this ball's hitting the air out to left. And the catch is made there for the final out of the inning.
And Santiago was a little flat-footed there when he caught that ball.
You will watch it one more time. That's a very unorthodox approach. Here's one more look at it. Looks like the replay malfunctioned, so we'll back it up. Here it is. Great effort behind the plate by Kehoe. Wasn't enough on that play as the throw was just a bit late. Dolphins now trail 2-1, heading to the bottom half of the third.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
First pitch in the home third inning is in for a strike. Second at bat of the game for Michael Kehoe. He's 1 for 1, scored after singling back up the middle in the first inning. Here comes the 1-1. That's down and away. Right now, the difference in the game, an unearned run for the Mavericks. They've put together 4 hits in their first 3 turns at bat. Kehoe fouls that one away. 2 hits for the Dolphins, both coming in the first inning. There's a checked swing by Kehoe, but he went around, and that's strike 3.
Sheppy has settled in nicely here since the first inning, where you can make the argument the Dolphins could have done more damage. And right now he's in cruise control.
Well, I brought it up before. I said it was huge for Sheppy to escape that first inning, allowing just a run. Really regained command late in that first inning. Comes the 1-0 to Shendi Ulaj, and that's in for a strike. Ulaj doubled to left in his first at bat. Excuse me, doubled to right center. That's hit to left. Hit well. Down the line. Foul ball.
Oof, close.
Very close. I almost spoke it into existence right there.
Well, the ball is certainly traveling throughout the outfield here today with the lack of wind. But you can see even now the wind a little slightly blowing out towards that foul pole. So that's probably why it hooked foul.
Well, I've said it in the past. Ulaj has power to all fields. And he takes strike 3. Looked like he knew it, but the call was a bit delayed, perhaps because it was so obvious to both Ulaj and the home plate umpire. That will bring up Vincent Weigel.
A couple of strikeouts in a row here now for Sheppy.
That's taken out of the zone for ball 1. Comes the 1-0. There's a big swing and a miss. Comes the 1-1. That catches the outside corner for a called strike 2. Here comes the 1-2. And that's hit well out to right center on a line, and that's down for a base hit. Third hit of the game for the Dolphins. Second for Weigel. Check that. The first for Weigel. Second time he's gotten on base.
Just a nice piece of hitting by Weigel there. Taking that outside pitch to right field. Drops it in for a single.
Weigel walked to load the bases back in the first inning for this man, A.J. Vigliotti. Vigliotti was then robbed of a base hit on an incredible diving catch in center field by Jaden Caballero. Vigliotti behind in the count here 0-1. And he's quickly in a 2-strike hole. We'll see how much attention they pay to Weigel over at first, especially in an 0-2 count. And Vigliotti chases out of the zone for strike 3. Quick inning on the mound for Scott Sheppy. He gives up a 2-out hit, but sets down Vigliotti on 3 pitches. We head to the 4th. Mercy leading CSI 2-1.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Fourth inning getting started from the CSI baseball complexes. There was an attempted bunt on that last pitch by Sean McAdams. He comes up empty for strike one. And McAdams is quickly in a 2-strike hole.
So far, a very well-pitched game by both pitchers. Damage could have been a lot worse on both sides, but they were able to work around.
A lot of base runners early in this game. It's a quick strikeout for Ryan Kehoe to open up the fourth. That will bring up Stephen Schoen. First pitch to Schoen is in for a strike. In just a moment, we'll have a scoring update for you from CSI Softball. Dolphins playing a pair of big games today at Dieuville. And that's hit through the right side for a base hit.
Schoen sneaking that one through, and he's on board here.
The shortstop, number 12, Joseph Gonzalez.
Joseph Gonzalez will be the batter now. I was past the scoring update from next door. It's 3-0 Staten Island in the top half of the first. However, the issue persists here on campus. We cannot access Dieuville's athletics website here at the College of Staten Island.
Interesting. What is it, geo-blocked?
Not sure. I can access it at home. We can access it on a mobile device via the cellular network. We cannot access it any other way. Though I do believe that we can check on D3 Presto what those games are looking like up to the minute. So we could possibly do that. Let's check right now as the count goes to 1-2.
Might have to tune into the ECC network while we're on the ECC network.
Won't be the first time we've done that.
No,
as that's hit well out to right center. Santiago ranges over to his right and makes the catch. And there are two away.
In the season, we're doing women's basketball coverage. Watch on the ECC network while broadcasting baseball on the ECC network.
Two away here in the road fourth inning. That pitch is in for a called strike. Gabe Sanders at the plate here. Sanders is 0 for 1. Once again, they check on the runner at first. Both teams have been fairly conscious of the base runners so far. Time is called behind the plate.
I don't think Schoen is going anywhere, Joe.
Dolphins aren't convinced. Count now 0-2 on Sanders. And that just missed. Dolphin dugout wanted that call. They've gone to the bottom of the first in Buffalo. So that's fouled away. Dolphins still lead Saints 3-0. Now, when we were speaking the other day during our softball broadcast about playoff scenarios for CSI softball, we had forgotten that Dieuville is in provisional year 3 as Sanders strikes out and Kehoe puts up a 0 in the fourth. But Dieuville is not eligible for the postseason this year, so they will not be an obstacle to the Dolphins and their postseason hopes in any way except the Dolphins' conference win-loss record. And CSI still controls their own destiny in that regard. We head to the home fourth here on the baseball diamond. The Dolphins trail the Mavericks 2-1.
for me just kind of was the glue that kept my family together. I feel like I don't know what it was that drew me in, but after I started playing for a while and started seeing some early success as a little kid, to see how much it meant to my parents to see me play the game and try to make a difference was really what fueled me to keep playing and stay competitive. Being a triple major is not necessarily easy, but at the same time it is what you make it. Being a tighter-knit university, I have a lot of classes with the same professors, so they know me pretty well. I think it's that personal relationship that really helped me to thrive as a student. I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
Home fourth inning from the CSI Baseball Complex. Dolphins trail by a run. Angel Santiago at the plate here for CSI. And he's quickly behind 0-2. They move on to the second inning in Buffalo. Dolphins over the Saints, 3-0. Saints had 2 base runners stranded in the home first inning. We spoke about the playoff scenarios for softball ahead of the break. This series between the Dolphins and the Mavericks has massive playoff implications for both teams. So that's popped up, and that is caught shallow in right field for the first out. But the Dolphins and the Mavericks right now are on the outside looking in the ECC. Once again, D'Youville is not eligible for the playoffs, so that changes things just a bit. The top 4 teams make it. Right now, D'Youville is third. But once again, they are not eligible for the playoffs. So effectively, Queens is third, Lincoln is fourth. That's it on the line, out to fairly deep center. And the catch is made just shy of the warning track for the second out.
Sheppy working at a quick pace. That's what happens when you pound the strike zone. We've done plenty of games where the pitchers just cannot find the strike zone. Not the case here today. Both pitchers throwing a lot of strikes.
Both pitchers have been working very quickly in this game, no question. 2 very quick outs for the Dolphins here as that's fouled straight back. Malloy 10-2 in conference play right now. The Dolphins have already faced them. They still have a 4-game series looming with St. Thomas Aquinas, a 4-game series with D'Youville, and a 4-game series with Lincoln after this weekend series with the Mavericks. That's it out to left center, and it is a very quick 1-2-3 inning for Scott Sheppy. Sheppy makes quick work of the Dolphins. CSI still trails 2-1 as we move to the 5th.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
First pitch of the 5th inning is hit through the left side for a base hit by Zach Ashleen. And very quickly, the Mavericks have a leadoff base runner.
Number 13, Jaden.
Well, good job there by Ashleen to lean into that one and poke it into left field for the leadoff single.
Quick start for the Mavericks here in the road 5th. They now have 6 hits in this game. As Jaden Caballero was squaring up to bunt, he takes a strike.
I think he might have been taken all the way there, so he put on the bunt, but we'll see. One run, another run here could make a major difference in the outcome of this game.
I would not have been surprised if he looked to bunt on that pitch, only because Sheppy has really pitched well the last couple of innings, but Caballero has swung the bat really well, so do you really want to give up an at-bat here? Right now, the Mavericks out-hitting the Dolphins 6-3. That's chopped to the right side, and the right side was vacated as the runner was going on the pitch. Going first to third was Ashleen, and it's a single for Caballero, his 3rd hit of the game.
That'll bring the leading hitter for the Mavericks to the plate in Giblin.
How many times have we seen that happen to the Dolphins on stolen base attempts? Just
a lot.
Bad luck where they go to cover the base. There you see it at the corner of the screen. Myers was moving over to cover second, and he vacated a hole on the right side. We kept the camera where it was for potential play at second base, and right there, Caballero hit it where they ain't, as that pickoff got away, and that allows a run to score. Off the glove of Ulaj, and it trickled away just far enough to allow Ashleen to come in with the 3rd mercy run.
First base still a new position for Ulaj, but Dolphins paying a lot of attention there to the speedy Caballero, and Caballero impacts the game, and the runner gets home on the failed pickoff attempt where the ball goes beyond Ulaj's reach.
I didn't get a chance to take a look at where the Dolphins were going to play their infield in that spot, and if they were willing to exchange a run for 2 outs on a double play ball. There goes the runner. Throw to second, skips in. And Caballero easily steals the base.
Caballero causing fits all over the base path now.
There's a big swing and a miss by Giblin for strike 2. A big run in scoring position for the Mavericks with nobody out and their leading hitter at the plate. Kehoe ahead of him 0-2. Kehoe checks the runner 3 times. Here comes the 0-2. And that's it out to right. Bad break by Santiago. It's over his head. It's a stand-up double for Giblin. In to score is Caballero, and the Mavericks now lead it 4-1.
Well, nice job of hitting by Giblin. At the very least there, he was going to move Caballero over to third. But that ball goes beyond Santiago, who broke in at first. And he's on second with a stand-up RBI double and puts his team ahead 4-1.
Well, the wind here at the CSI Baseball Complex typically blows right to left. Here today, the wind is minimal at most. And I think that's really helped the ball in carrying out to right field. We saw it on the Ulaj double, and Santiago did not expect that ball to get over his head. Not only did it get over his head, it got over his head by a wide margin.
Yeah, I think it was a one-hopper onto the warning track.
That ball was smoked by Giblin. Mavericks now have 8 hits in this game, and the top of their lineup has done some serious damage. Once again, Kehoe ahead 0-2 here. And that was blocked by Kehoe, but he didn't get enough of it. And now Giblin stands over at third.
Now a ground out here could be another run, so Dolphins are going to have to bring the infield in. Glenister with the chance to drive in another run here.
And the 0-2 is hit in the air. Foul territory. 2 Dolphins converging, and Ulaj makes the catch. Big first out for Ryan Kehoe and the Dolphins.
Certainly needed something along those lines there. And they get the fly out and foul territory. They can take a big, deep sigh of relief there. We know Louis Matrone certainly did as well when that ball was caught. Our statistician.
We've been getting on him about that E5 DF now for almost a year, as that swung on and missed for strike 1. Dolphins with the infield in all around here, not willing to concede another run. Janiel Ramirez at the plate in a spot where a fly ball could give the Mavericks a 4-run lead.
Well, on that E5, it was Ulaj last year when he really didn't give the E5, so now it was the reverse. It was to third base there. So,
you know, it's funny you mentioned that E5 DF because we had a very similar situation over at softball last Saturday. Now, NYU was renting the field, and their SID, Jeff Bernstein, came up to the box after the game asking for some assistance with the exact same problem. The difference is they had proceeded to continue statting the game as that ball is crushed deep to right field. Santiago toward the wall, looks up, and that lands at the base of the fence. Ramirez wasn't really running, so he stops at second, and it's an RBI double.
Joe, I don't know if I've ever seen a ball hit that far here at CSI to right field. That was absolutely smoked. Ramirez barely missed a home run, so he probably thought it was gone too. Hence why he wasn't really running. He could have been on third, but nevertheless, an RBI double for Ramirez, and we're going to get a pinch runner for him here.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick, he was really soaking that one in. You can see it on the replay, and at the very least, he should be on third, but that ball off the bat, I thought was a no-doubt home run. Pinch runner at second.
I think it's Kalongi Goins.
We'll double-check that. Nonetheless, the Mavericks now lead at 5-0. They have 9 hits in the game. There is no action in the Dolphins' bullpen. This inning belongs to Kehoe.
Now, do you think that Ramirez got pulled from the game there to get a speed increase or because he was not running out of the box?
I was actually reading a text, Nick. Repeat that question.
So do you think Ramirez got pulled for the pinch hitter there truly for a speed upgrade or for the fact that maybe he wasn't running off the swing of the bat?
I have to think that with a 4-run lead and a batter at the plate who just got a swing like that, it's a combination of both. That's popped up a mile high, shallow left field. 3 Dolphins there, and Cipoletti somehow held on.
Tough spot over there with that portion of the field that's kind of dirt and grass, but he makes the play and puts the batter away. So, Joe, you got to finish off the story here with the NYU as we got interrupted by that big fly by Ramirez.
So what happened is NYU accidentally scored a 4th out in an inning. And typically the stat crew won't let you do that. But somehow stat crew managed to let it slip through, and they scored a 4th out. The only way around that is to delete every play after that, go back to that play, delete it, and then rescore the game from that point forward. And that's what we did.
Brutal.
Fortunately, Jeff kept the scorecard. We did it in about 2 minutes.
Jeff's all over it. Otherwise, you'd have to watch the game back.
Well, Jeff is an inspiration to me in one very important area, and that is my seating, my choice of seating down at the softball diamond. He saw me in my chair with cover from the sun. It rocks back and forth. It puts me right behind the action at home plate, and he was thoroughly impressed. I didn't have the covering up, so he looked. He said, "Where's your sun cover?" And very quickly
pulled it up.
Was able to pull it up from the back of the seat as that pickoff attempt nearly got away.
I am relieved we are not outside fully today because we would be baked like a baked potato. I mean, the sun would be destroying us.
No question. I've said it many times on the air. I don't tan. I just turn red, and it happens very quickly. As that's on the outside corner for a called strike 2.
I have to imagine it's more humid here today than it was on your trip with the team down to Orlando.
We had great weather down there. It probably didn't rain more than once. And when it did rain, we were not outside. So it worked out really well. We arrived at a Florida outlet mall. We came out of the store not knowing that it had rained, and it looked like a torrential downpour had hit the area. That was the only time it rained in a week.
Lucky.
Count full here on Steven Schoen. That's chopped to short. Throw over to first with plenty of time, and the side is retired. But not before the Mavericks score 3 more runs. They now have 9 base hits in the game, and they lead CSI 5-1, heading to the bottom half of the 5th.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Bottom of the 5th from the CSI baseball complex. Brian Burkhead leading off for CSI, his team trailing by 4 runs. Count even on the CSI left fielder at 1-1, and that's it well to right field. But he didn't get all of it as the catch is made on the move in right for the first out. And off the bat, I thought that one had a chance.
Well, it looked like it was in a carry storm, but Ashland, he was playing it very well. He was playing deep and able to track it down.
Ashleen makes the grab on the move for the first out, and Jake Myers will be the batter. Myers struck out on 3 pitches his first time up, and here he takes ball 1. Comes the 1-0. That's popped up. Foul territory looks to be in play, and the catch is made for out number 2.
Glenister there had to battle with the on-deck circle, but is able to come away with the catch, and that's 2 quick outs for Sheppy.
Dolphins got off to a great start in this game at the plate, but since then have had a bunch of really quick innings.
Well, Joe, we're an hour and 5 minutes into the game, and we have 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
We are past the halfway point here at the CSI Baseball Complex. This game the first in a 4-game series this weekend, as Keogh hits one well to right. But Ashleen is right there once again to make the catch, and the side is retired. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 in the 5th, and that is yet another very quick inning on the mound for Scott Sheppy. His team leads 5-1.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. It Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Sixth inning from the College of Staten Island, just getting underway. Dolphins have gone down very quickly. And I believe each of the last 3 innings now. Very limited rest in that dugout for CSI starter Ryan Kehoe. He's allowed 5 runs on 9 hits, as that's hit toward the middle and off the glove of a diving Cipoletti. Thinking about second for a moment was Gonzalez. He stops first, and once again, the Mavericks have a leadoff base runner.
Aiden Keelty warming up in the Dolphins bullpen, the freshman pitcher. And you mentioned it earlier, Joe. A lot of the stars for the Dolphins last year or the year before, not seeing as much playing time here, but that's a product of jumping fully into D2.
That's bunted to Kehoe's left, and he records the out at first. Successful sacrifice. Moves Gonzalez up to second. And the Mavericks have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. And you're right, Nick. I said it before. A lot of Dolphins who have had a great deal of past success, not seeing as much playing time. A lot of these first-year players have made a major impact. 3 first-year Dolphins in the starting lineup today. Some familiar faces like Shendi Ulaj continuing to hit. Michael and Ryan Kehoe both having big seasons, a couple of returning players. That's hit in the air by Ashleen, shallow right. Backing up is Myers, and it falls. That's going to be a base hit. Nobody called it. Martinez, Myers, Santiago in the area. And now there are runners on the corners.
What we could both agree on, Joe, is that was definitely not Myers' ball. So he should have been called off by an outfielder. I think he was waiting to be called off, but nobody got there, and it falls in between the 3 of them. Drops into the Bermuda Triangle, and now the runner is on third.
Well, you won't be able to see too much here, but you can see Martinez, Santiago, and Myers converge on the ball on this replay. Whenever you have an infielder going back on a high pop-up, that is not a position you want to be in. That infielder needs to be called off early and every time, if possible. And in that situation, it was certainly possible, as that pitch is taken high. Not only does that put runners on the corners with just 1 out, but it brings Jaden Caballero to the plate. He's 3 for 3. Not the man you want to face in this spot. Ashleen way off of first base ahead of that last pitch as well. Caballero now ahead 2-0. That's hit sharply, and Cipoletti can't make the diving stop. 1 run is in to score. Ashleen headed for third, and advancing on the throw is Caballero.
Well, Caballero now on base once again, second and third here. The only positive here is this time Caballero is not going to be stealing, as we saw him impact the game greatly in the last inning to break things open when the Dolphins attempted to pick him off and the ball went past Ulaj and gave him that extra run.
Well, that was not a wise throw to third base by Martinez. That allowed the runner to advance from first to second, which in turn eliminates the possibility of a double play. Mavericks can break this game wide open with a base hit here. They now lead it by 5. And Giblin takes a strike. I've said it each of the last 2 seasons. This Dolphins team can score with just about anyone. Starting pitching has been CSI's strength this year. And this is a rare off day for Kehoe. But the Dolphins are far from out of this. And they need their starter to come through here in a big spot. A strikeout would be huge. As for the Mavericks, if you can capitalize with 2 in scoring position in this half inning, go ahead by 7, it's going to be tough for the Dolphins to come back. And that won't help as Giblin goes down chasing a pitch well out of the zone.
Big out there to get Giblin. There's 2 outs. Kehoe's got a chance to get out of this.
That's an out that Kehoe and the Dolphins really needed. If they could hold the Mavericks to 1 in this half inning, maybe that will give them some momentum. Dolphins at the plate have gone down very quickly, no less than 3 or 4 times in this game. Don't know if we have a pitch tally by inning, but that would be very telling. And very quickly, count runs to 2-0 on Glenister. Glenister at the plate is 0 for 2. Does have an RBI and a sacrifice fly. And he takes a strike. Up in Buffalo, the Dolphins have relinquished the lead. They now trail 4-3 against Deauville. That pitch catches the corner for a called strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 in scoring position. That's sent foul. This at-bat could really dictate how the Dolphins choose to manage this game the rest of the way. If they fall behind by 7, that could change how they manage the bullpen. As that pitch is fouled straight back. But you have to wonder, at what point would the Dolphins go into a decision-making process where they're looking to save pitching for the next 3 days? Count remains 2-2. Kehoe's pitch is fouled away once again.
4 games in 3 days. Trying to use as little amount of pitchers as you can here to get things started.
4 games in 3 days is really tough for most teams. You need to have a lot of pitching depth to make that work. And there's a big swing and a miss for strike 3. A much-needed punch-out for Ryan Kehoe and the Dolphins. They managed to keep it a 5-run game. CSI will come to bat, trailing 6-1 when we come back for the bottom of the 6th.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. SAC gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
big inning for the Dolphins here in the bottom half of the 6th as Shendi Ulaj looks at ball 1. Dolphins have 2, 3, and 4 due up against Scott Sheppy. And they are in need of some offense as they now trail by 5.
Need to get something going here. Ulaj has swung a good bat here today.
And that's hit down the line. Nice stop over at third. Strong throw across the diamond in time. That's a really nice play over at third base by Giblin.
Beautiful play by Giblin there to make that stop. That was tremendous.
I cannot believe the levels that the music outside are registering right now.
Not getting any complaints to the university like we do for soccer?
I'm sure someone's getting complaints. It's not me. As that's hit out to right. And that falls into the glove.
What a catch by McAdams.
McAdams in foul territory got there and made the basket catch over the shoulder.
Made that look easy, but that was very difficult.
And Nick, once again, the Dolphins with 2 outs in a matter of seconds.
Sheppy is just rolling right now. Like he's just like, let me throw a pitch. You're gonna get out. I'm gonna let you make contact, and let's hear them walk. Maybe this walk-up music that's so loud is really motivating him. And I mean, whatever's going on right now for Sheppy is working. Dolphins maybe got to start taking some pitches. Like we saw a pitch taken right there. And you look into left field here, Joe, the new soccer field, the multi-purpose turf. I wonder how the audio is going to be over there when some music's playing and for some potential games in the future.
I wouldn't be so sure about those potential games. We'll see. Logistically, I'm not sure how that works, as that's it over to third, and Giblin makes another nice stop. Throw to first in time.
That's it. Inning's over.
4 pitches?
4-pitch inning.
4-pitch inning.
Maybe 5, but I think it was 4.
Scott Sheppy makes quick work of the Dolphins once again. CSI in attack mode, but they have just 1 run, and they trail 6-1 heading to the 7th. Seventh inning getting started just 1 hour and 22 minutes after first pitch. Scott Sheppy to this point has thrown just 68 pitches for the Mavericks, and throwing his first pitch for the Dolphins is reliever Aiden Keelty.
Dolphins hoping to get some lump out of Keelty here.
2 pitches, 2 strikes for Keelty out of the Dolphins bullpen.
Doubleheader tomorrow. The game plan will be for Morrow to get a full game out of Esposito, who's coming off a career best his last outing.
I'm taking a look down my roster, and we do have a change. I thought we had a change. Pinch hitter it is for the Mavericks. Ryan Gonzalez .200 hitter on the year. Gets his first plate appearance. And that's sent foul. Oh, and 2 the count on the Mavericks pinch hitter. Change on the infield for the Dolphins as well. Anthony Sotera is in to play second base. And that one is straight to the backstop.
So we have Gonzalez at the plate. No,
it is. It's Gonzalez. Ryan
okay.
Gonzalez.
Ryan Gonzalez.
Just 20 at-bats on the year. That's blocked by Kehoe.
See if the Mavericks over the next few innings here potentially empty the bench a little bit here.
Book is closed on Ryan Kehoe. 6 innings, 6 runs, 5 earned, 12 hits, 5 strikeouts. No walks. A couple of wild pitches. That's it out to right. Straight into the glove of Santiago for out number 1.
Second baseman, number 7.
Well, good start for Keelty here out of the pen. And that'll bring McAdams to the plate.
McAdams thus far 1 for 3. And he hits one in the air. Hits it well, right center field. And that lands in the gap for an extra base hit. McAdams will cruise into second base standing with a 1-out double. And that makes 13 hits in the game for Mercy College.
We've seen so many of those hits go into that right center field gap as the ball has been carrying out there today. Sean comes to the plate, had a big single his last at-bat.
We've seen a lot of big swings in this game. Home run bids to left, to right center, and several extra base hits. The Mavericks had 3 extra base hits against Ryan Kehoe, all doubles. Stephen Schoen at the plate here. He's ahead 1-0. Once again, that ball hit in the air. Right center. Martinez has it. And moving to third was McAdams. And once again, the Mavericks have a runner on third, this time with 2 outs.
Sean moves him over. And now the shortstop, Gonzalez, will come up and try to bring in the run.
Update from Buffalo. Dolphins softball now in the top of the 5th, still trailing 4-3. As that's chopped to the left side of the infield. It's going to take a strong throw, and the runner is safe. Infield single for Joseph Gonzalez. Another run comes home, and the Mavericks lead 7-1.
Took a bit of a weird hop that had Cipoletti going towards the outfield there. He needed a strong throw. He had one, but not in time as Gonzalez gets to first. I think we're going to have a pinch hitter here.
Cipoletti did everything he could as you get a look at that play once again. Gonzalez just beat the throw. And he has now stolen second base as well, so he moves into scoring position.
Gabe Sanders at the plate here, pinch hitting for Caballero, who had a great game.
I believe Sanders started. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's the 9-hitter.
No, you're right. I'm getting lost here with the subs and the numbers. My mistake.
The heat getting to us here in the booth. They have air conditioning next door.
I'm feeling the heat, that's for sure.
Yes. Pressure mounting on the Dolphins here. They're down to their final 9 outs. Keelty now ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Keelty stops the bleeding. The Mavericks tack on 1 more run. They now lead CSI 7-1, heading to the bottom half of the 7th. 2 pitches deep here in the bottom half of the 7th, and very quickly, Angel Santiago is in a 2-strike hole.
Sheppy continues to work quick.
And why not? He's been effective. Dolphins got to him in the first inning, had the bases loaded and nobody out. That seems like an eternity ago right now. And that's hit hard and into center field through the middle for a base hit.
Dolphins had to get something going, and that's a start.
I said it before, this game is far from over, but Dolphins need to string together some hits. Santiago on to lead off the home 7th, and that's hit hard into left field for a base hit. Didn't even get a chance to replay Santiago's hit before Nick Cipoletti drove a base hit into straightaway left.
Martinez now going to come to the plate with a chance to drive in a run for the Dolphins.
First pitch to Tyler Martinez is down and away for ball 1. And with just a couple of base hits, you can hear it. The energy is back in that Dolphins dugout. The spectators have come alive just a bit. There is now action in the Mavericks bullpen. There was stretching going on before this half inning. So that's hitting the air out to right. Santiago tags at second. Throw goes to third. It was on line. It is cut off. And Cipoletti is tagged out at second. And that is why you hit the cutoff man.
A little surprised to see that cut off because I thought they had a great throw there with a chance.
They did, but they had a sure out at second.
But they got the out, and with being ahead 6 runs, take the sure out.
Not going to pretend I thought Santiago was running. I thought he was going to stay put there. I was a bit surprised that he tagged up. I thought maybe he would try and draw a throw. And I think you're right, Nick. I think they had to play at third as well, but by hitting the cutoff man, they could see there was an easy out at second, and that wasn't even close. And the ball was wisely cut off. Brian Burkhead with a chance to make this a 5-run game, and it seems like the Dolphins need a hit here, as that's fouled straight back.
Need to drive the run in here if you're the Dolphins.
I agree, and I think for the Dolphins now, they would agree they need to score in the spot. And somehow, some way, despite allowing 2 base hits, Sheppy is once again on the verge of another quick inning.
Hoping Lewis scored that fly-out double play correctly.
I have full faith in him. As that's hit well once again to right field. That ball is carrying well, but it dies just short of the warning track, and Burkhead is retired for the final out of the inning. Another bid for a home run by Burkhead to deep right, but Ashleen is there, and the Dolphins are turned aside in the 7th. They still trail 7-1. Eighth inning from the CSI Baseball Complex, and a new pitcher is in for the Dolphins. Frank Retzlaff enters the game out of the Dolphins bullpen. He's quickly behind 2-0. And Retzlaff finds the zone for the first time. Now it skips to the backstop off the glove of Kehoe. Quickly, it's 3-1.
Certainly don't want to start this off with the leadoff walk.
There's a diving stop by Kehoe on a pitch well out of the zone. And it's a 5-pitch walk to open up the eighth inning.
The center fielder, number 13, Jaden Caballero.
Caballero up here. He's had a really strong game offensively. We also saw him make a diving catch earlier in center field.
That pitch misses low. Retzlaff did get a start against East Stroudsburg. Those games played in the middle of the week last week. And he has a runner picked off. Run down between first and second. And Ashleen is tagged out. And just like that, there's one away.
Retzlaff showed off his good pickoff move there and erases the leadoff walk.
I will say, Retzlaff had the Warriors attempting to run just about every time they had a man on base in his last start. He opened the game with a successful pickoff, and after that, a couple of errant pickoffs really changed the complexion of the first inning. And the Dolphins, from that point forward, gave up many stolen bases. They didn't have an answer for the running game of the Warriors. There's a base hit in that spot. And just like that, Ashleen is replaced over at first by Caballero.
And that'll bring up Giblin, the Mavericks' leading hitter.
Caballero is now 5 for 5. 2 runs scored, a double, and an RBI. What a game for him. As Giblin looks at ball one. A big part of the battle for Retzlaff has been finding the strike zone. His pickoff move is solid. When men get on base, he's able to quickly turn and fire to first. The question is, will that throw be accurate? Because when it is, he gets the ball over there quickly. Much of the damage done against him and many of the base runners who have reached have come on walks. When he's kept the ball in the strike zone, he's a different pitcher. Here, he gets ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Giblin. Runner going, and no throw. Batter is out on strike 3 swinging, and there are 2 away.
Giblin pretty much blocked any path that Kehoe would have had to throw out to second there.
Two out, runner in scoring position for the Mavericks. And Glenister hits one out to right, but he just missed it. And Santiago makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Mavericks now have 15 hits in the game. They strand a runner in scoring position. Their lead remains 7-1, heading to the bottom half of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning from the CSI Baseball Complex. Dolphins trail by 6. Anthony Sotera will get his first at bat to open up the home 8th right here. That pitch misses for ball 2. There is still action in the Mavericks bullpen, but Scott Sheppy comes out for an 8th inning here. He will at least begin the 8th. As that's it out to right. Ashleen very busy over there, and he makes another grab for the first out.
Ashleen and Santiago getting a lot of action out there right today, which is not very typical of the right fielders here.
Michael Kehoe will be the batter. Kehoe is 1 for 3. This year, Kehoe has been good for a hit in just about every game. Haven't covered many offers here at the CSI Baseball Complex for him. He gets ahead here 1-0. And that catches the corner for a strike.
What did he start? He started the game with a walk, Joe? How did he get on base?
Single up the middle.
Right, so
Kehoe, including this game, has hit safely in 7 straight. As that's it out to center. And that ball was dropped.
Son.
Caballero lost it. And you can see he's discussing it with Sanders, the left fielder, but that's the first Mavericks error of the game, and the Dolphins have a 1-out base runner.
Let's see, waiting for the official scoreboard to put it up as an error.
Now, did he touch the ball? It looks like he may not have touched it. I thought he touched it.
He didn't touch it. He did
That's
not
a hit
touch
then.
it.
Kehoe and the Dolphins will take it. I thought he dropped it.
Lewis is all over it.
He does have the benefit of binoculars in there. Curious to see if he broke them out while that ball was in flight. Thomas Martin, the Dolphins' pinch hitter. He's quickly ahead 2-0. Martin unintentionally accomplished a feat that few have accomplished on Heroes Day. He hit a home run while his walk-up music was playing.
Oh, he's truly like a G6 if he was able to do that.
Yeah, that walk-up music is long gone, but I was on the broadcast with Nick Bavona. They were just singing about him being a classic man over the public address system, and that's hit well to right, and that is down. Will Martin go for 2? He will not. That was played phenomenally in right field by Ashleen. With that, the Dolphins now have runners on the corners and 1 out.
Looks like whoever was warming up in the bullpen for the Mavericks is ready to go. Have a mound visit here. I think you got to let Sheepy get out of this on his own here.
We will see. He's having a word with his catcher right now. Doesn't appear that a pitching change is upcoming. Big spot here for Vincent Weigel. As you get a look at that last base hit by Martin, Weigel looks at ball 1. Now, you may have seen it more than once today around both of our cameras. As that pitch is in for a strike. We do have a hornet's nest outside around the pitcher-batter camera, and some of those wasps have made their way into the booth in front of our main camera, as that is a rocket straight into the glove of Caballero. Tough out for Weigel there, and there are 2 away.
Caballero had to come charging in a bit there, and the shoestring catch to retire Weigel there for the second out.
You'll see it right here. Weigel put a great swing on that ball, hit it hard. But Caballero was right there waiting. It's left to A.J. Vigliotti, and he took a home run cut at that pitch.
He's certainly swinging for the fences on that.
Home run would certainly change the complexion of this game. As Vigliotti looks at strike 2.
Dolphins down to their last 4 outs.
CSI could really use a base hit with runners on here. Comes the 0-2. That misses high. The only Dolphins RBI in this game came home on a sacrifice fly. That pitch misses low. Angel Santiago would be next if Vigliotti can keep the inning going. And 2-2 misses up and in. That runs the count full. Martin can now get a head start over at first base. An extra base hit would almost certainly score 2 now. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that misses badly for ball 4.
Outside there, and now Santiago comes up with a chance to do some damage here.
The Dolphins are going to have a good chance to win this game. They need a hit here. At the very least, Santiago has to find a way to get on. And he looks at a strike. Santiago officially 1 for 3. Chance here to put CSI right back in this game. And he looks at ball 1. Despite the pressure that this situation brings, Sheppy is still working very quickly. That misses for ball 2. And Nick, I think we said this about Sheppy last year as well. I think he pitched against the Dolphins here, and we said the same thing. We couldn't believe how quickly he worked.
I love it.
I know you love it. And that's hit hard down the left field line. Foul ball.
I don't like when pitchers are dilly-dallying around the mound, stepping off, taking breaks. But I really had no tolerance for Joe, and I know you're the same, is throwing a lot of balls.
Well, you are an umpire. I also have no tolerance for not being able to find the strike zone. That really gets to me as well. Comes the 2-2, and that's fouled straight back.
I'd have to imagine that maybe 90% of the pitches by Sheppy today have been strikes.
Let's see if I can pull it up very quickly.
Oh, yeah, 1 walk, 2 walks?
I believe he's now at 104 pitches. After this next one, I'll see how many strikes. That's number 105. Merry-go-round will be in motion here. I do not have a strike tally.
You might be able to get it after the at-bat.
Perhaps. Santiago fouls that one away.
How many walks, though?
I'm actually a bit surprised. 2 walks. A bit surprised we don't have the total number of strikes. I know Lewis has it. If he's listening, he can send that over.
Another ball there, so we jinxed Sheppy.
I didn't do anything. As the Dolphins bring a run home, they now trail by 5. And that might be all. Cipoletti comes to the plate here. He might be facing a new pitcher.
Well, Cipoletti, we know, has power. Grand slam here makes it a 1-run game.
Cipoletti is 1 for 3. And Cipoletti absolutely has some power. A gapper could make this a 2-run game.
Well, heck of a performance by Sheppy on a hot day. Just running out of the gas here. And he will be replaced on the mound.
New pitcher for the Mavericks coming into the game. Ryan Dieguez was up in the bullpen before.
Looks like a double switch as well. Going to have a new catcher.
And Dieguez comes into the game to pitch. So Dieguez inherits the bases loaded, 2 outs. Nick Cipoletti at the plate for the Dolphins. And taking a look at the numbers for Dieguez this year, his ERA is sub-4 across 9 appearances, but he has walked 10 batters in 11 1/3. So command has been an issue for him at times.
Big spot here to come into the game.
Cipoletti on the season, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, comes in hitting an even 300. 24 hits and a team-leading 80 at-bats. He has 12 RBIs this year, slugging at .438. He has 4 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. He is certainly a candidate to make this a 1-run game, perhaps a 2-run game. And we are set to resume action. Dieguez comes set. His first pitch is low for ball 1. Cipoletti has walked just 3 times this year, has struck out 13 in 80 at-bats. That's popped up. And the catch is made on the infield for the final out here in the 8th inning. Dolphins load the bases. They settle for 1. Our score, 7-2, headed to the 9th. Dolphins settle for just 1 run in the home half of the 8th, and that sends us to the 9th with Mercy leading 7-2. And once again, Nick, the Dolphins, with the bases loaded, unable to come through with a big hit.
It's been the story of the game here so far today, leaving runners on base.
That was by far CSI's best opportunity since the first inning. Dolphins now have 7 hits in the game. The Mavericks with 15. Frank Retzlaff back to the mound for CSI. Finds the zone for the first time here in the 9th after he fell behind 2-0. That's fouled back up over our heads, out of play. Count even at 2 on Ryan Gonzalez. Gonzalez 0 for 1. His first at bat came as a pinch hitter. That's pulled foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Retzlaff a bit more deliberate than Sheppy. Just a bit. Here comes the 2-2. That's popped up. Foul territory. I was wondering where that was going to land. Count still even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that misses down and away. No action in either bullpen. It looks like Dieguez will come on, back out I should say, and pitch the 9th. And the 3-2 misses for ball 4.
Retzlaff working at a normal pace, but after what we saw to start the game, it feels slow.
I think you're right, and that ball that was fouled off slowed things down just a bit, but
now,
in terms of work rate, he's no Scott Sheppy.
Do you remember we got a substitution here, and was it a pinch runner? Yes.
Pinch runner at first. That's John Nisko.
Thanks to the umpire for letting us know. Now, do you remember back in the days when you were a Met fan, like going we'll say 2003 through 6?
Wild pitch there will advance the runner.
Steve Traxel, remember what his nickname was?
I remember he had one and was a notoriously slow worker.
Yeah, it was the human rain delay.
Okay. He couldn't pitch today.
He would not be able to blast today at the pitch clock. That's
no,
for sure.
Definitely not. And able to get that bunt down was McAdams. Had to get out of the way of that pitch. That will advance the runner to third.
McAdams is lucky he got his bat on that because that was going to hit him right in the face.
Yeah. Giving everything he had there for a sacrifice bunt. Leading by 5 runs. He got it down. Stephen Schoen will be the batter. Dolphins bring the infield in once again. That's taken outside for ball 1. That catches the corner. That's hit hard. Fair ball down the right field line. And that will roll all the way into the corner for an extra base hit. Schoen is into second standing, and it's an RBI double for Stephen Schoen as the Mavericks get back the run they gave up in the last half inning.
Nice piece of hitting there by Schoen. Keeps that fair. And it's in there with a stand-up walking double.
That ball was smoked down the line. He hit that one hard. Martin had no chance over at first. And it looks like he was guarding the line based on that replay. Pitches in for a called strike. Joseph Gonzalez at the plate here. Comes to bat with a man in scoring position once again for the Mavericks. And Retzlaff misses low. That's hit in the air out to right. Shallow. Santiago coming on. He makes the catch. And Schoen will hold at second.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 16, Gabe Sanders.
That will bring Gabe Sanders to the plate.
Oh, we got a second, Joe. Did you see that your favorite player, Bryce Harper, is going to be looking to play first base for the Phillies?
That's what winners do, whatever it takes for the betterment of the team. And boy, do the Phillies need it.
Now, it's his non-throwing arm that he had the Tommy John surgery on. So, is it really going to be better playing first? I feel like you use that arm a lot more at first base than in the outfield.
I guess it really comes down to where do you think there's a bigger chance of him being forced to overextend. I think the only way you would hurt it, your non-throwing arm in the outfield, would be on a diving attempt. Right. I don't really think it makes much of a difference, but I'd be more inclined to think that you're just a bit more likely in the outfield to re-injure it. But we'll see.
Good athlete, can do whatever. So, see what happens there.
If the Phillies don't start hitting, it's not going to matter what happens in the field. They need his bat.
They're in a very weak division, other than the Braves.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count here. That misses low. Now, in terms of New York sports right now, I'm generally speaking a New York sports fan. I did abandon the Mets. We won't talk about that, but
we have to do our NFL draft special as always at a softball game in the next 2 weeks.
Well, you won't be here for Senior Day, so I'm not sure what other game you'd get. We do have 2 next week during the week if you're available, as that falls right behind Martinez. He couldn't find it in the sun. It's another sunshine-assisted base hit, this time for the Mavericks. And Mercy now leads 9-2.
The sun is tough out there. You see both center fielders now misplaying a ball because they cannot see it.
You hit the ball in the air out to center field, and you have a pretty good chance at a hit. Second time we've seen that in the last couple of innings. So that's it for a called strike.
As far as your New York fandom, you'll be spending a lot of time at Madison Square Garden coming up.
They gave that an error. He didn't touch that.
He did not touch the ball.
That's a hit. That's hit number 17.
That was exactly the same scenario as Caballero.
Once again, that's hit to center. And this time, Martinez makes the catch to retire the side. Mavericks strand 1 in scoring position, but they pick up 2 more runs to go in front by 7. Last chance for the Dolphins, and we come back. Pinch hitter for the Dolphins to open up the bottom half of the 9th inning. John Castiglione will be the batter. He takes up high for ball 1. Castiglione on the year, 9 of 39 at the plate. Has appeared 17 games. Has gotten a bunch of starts behind the plate. Has started some games as the designated hitter.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Joe, it looks like Burkhead is warming up with a wooden bat in the on-deck circle.
It does look that way. Could be the design of the aluminum bat, but it does look like a wooden bat from here, that's for sure. Now, are wooden bats legal at the college level?
I was going to say, I don't think they were, but...
And that ball is dropped, as you saw there on your screens. Kept the camera locked in on home plate.
Lewis knows what that was.
Well, that was in fair territory, so.
Well, it's an E2.
Now, Alfred Hody came on to catch in the last inning as part of a double switch. That will be the first Mavericks error. And the Dolphins have a leadoff base runner. Brian Burkhead will come to the plate. Burkhead has hit 2 screamers to right field. And the 0-1 is fouled off the facing of the press box.
Well, you could definitely hear metal on that swing, on that bat.
It was the design of the bat.
Looks just like a wooden bat.
It really does. Burkhead behind 0-2 here. And he goes down swinging. 1 away in the bottom of the 9th. And Anthony Sotero will be the batter. This game got started at 1 o'clock. And I think this might go down as the quickest 9-inning game we've ever called, should the Dolphins fail to rally. So that's it out to left. Catch is made by Sanders, and there are 2 away.
Well, great pitching for the Mavericks between Sheppy and Dieguez. And that has been the story here in this game.
Game has gone final in Buffalo. The Dolphins lose to the Saints 4-3. Dolphins jumped out to an early 3-run lead, did not score again. 4 unanswered runs for D'Youville to bring that game to an end. Dolphins are now in a spot as that's it out to right. Sun a factor, but the catch is made by Ashleen.
A lot of putouts by him today.
Absolutely. As that will end the ball game. Baseball drops the first game in their 4-game series against Mercy College. And the way this one started, this is not the finish I was expecting. I don't know if the same holds true for you, Nick.
Well, Dolphins had a huge opportunity to break things open in the first inning. And all they were able to do was to squeeze across 1 run. And then in the second inning, Mercy tied it up. And in the third inning, they took the lead and they never looked back.
Mavericks score 9 runs on 17 hits, commit just 1 error. That came in that final half inning. The Dolphins 2 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. And we've said it many times already, hitting with men on base, a big factor in this game. Not the only factor, as Scott Sheppy pitched incredibly well for the Mavericks.
Sheppy was tremendous, definitely worthy of a ECC Pitcher of the Week nomination. Couldn't finish the game, but to come out here on an 88-degree day and pitch the way you did with that great pace. Tremendous job by him, and he led his team to victory.
And I get the feeling that tomorrow the Mavericks will get a look at the reigning East Coast Conference Pitcher of the Week. John Esposito sure to get a start for CSI tomorrow. The question will be, is that going to be in Game 1 or in Game 2? Typically, Esposito has started Game 2 in the middle 2 games of these 4-game series in conference play. The Dolphins could choose to do something else with that tomorrow. We will see what they decide when they get underway against the Mavericks tomorrow afternoon. Those 2 games will also be broadcast live on the ECC network. You can tune in there. Links to those broadcasts will be available in our pregame preview over at CSIDolphins.com. Until Sunday, when we'll be back on the air here at the CSI Baseball Complex, this has been Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst. And from all of us here at the College of Staten Island, thank you for watching. Our final score, Mercy 9, Staten Island 2. We will see you on Sunday for the 4th and final game of this series.